Hi, welcome to the video on computer basics. Rather than flipping through the slides, I suggest you listen to the video because I'll give you hints about what you really need to know for quizzes. So I go over more material in these slides than you necessarily need to memorize or know, but I think it's good information to have. So just a reminder that on the website, if you go to quarter one, and you go down to basics, you can find the slide decks here that I'm going to be using. So you can follow along with the slide decks or review them later as you wish. So computer basics. So I'm first just going to talk about some vocabulary, hardware, software, memory address, input output, and talk about the software development life cycle. So hardware is really anything that you can physically touch, hold in your hand, you could knock on it, and software are the applications that reside on computers that make them do all the things that we love, but we can't have one without the other, so we need the hardware to put our software on. So there's some major components of computer hardware. You should be aware that a keyboard and a mouse are hardware. You don't have to memorize that it is the user interface, although I think you would know that. You don't have to memorize the bold terms, but you need to know examples of hardware. So keyboard, mouse, printers, scanners, these are things we can see, we can touch. In addition, thumb drives, CD-ROMs, hard disks that are inside of the computer, those are pieces of hardware. They store software, but they themselves are hardware components that are used to store software. Some more hardware are the physical network connection. Sometimes you have a network card as well. Your RAM and the CPU inside the computer box. So we may open up a computer in class just to show you some of these elements. So in terms of software, we're talking about all the applications that run on the hardware. And like I said, it's the things we like. So these are some examples of software you run on a computer, but certainly apps that are on your phone. Your phone is the hardware, and the apps that you run on your phone are software elements. This is just a sample motherboard. I think this picture is very, very old. I might have tried to update it, but you have lots of slots here for different types of things. These might be memory slots here. There's slots for display adapters and cards that can go in there. And here we have the CPU. And I'm trying to see if I can find any other elements, but it's just interesting to look. You can see some of the, here's some of the outputs for maybe a USB and some of the microphones and headphones and those sort of jacks. So it's just interesting if you've never seen a motherboard to take a look at one. So just a quick touch on computer memory. And so the hard drive stores our things permanently, so you can think of it as a file cabinet where I'm storing things. But the computer memory, the RAM, when I want to be working on one of those files, I would take it out of the hard drive, out of the file cabinet, and I would put it on my desk. So picture a classroom desk as the working area of the RAM. And so similarly, when you open an application like Microsoft Word, it will open the file you want it to open, and that's in RAM, so that's your working memory there. So just a little blurb here that working memory definitely has, in order to store and access all this working memory we're working with, we have binary addresses for areas in memory. So in addition to data being stored, in terms of binary and some binary form. We also have addresses to where things are stored, and those are also binary indicators. So jumping straight ahead to, we're talking about software now, and in terms of development, there's all these stages. Sometimes there's a one called the waterfall method, and it maybe you can't quite see it from here, but there's this slow, kind of like you're approaching the waterfall, and then this is all the waterfall. I'm assuming it's been called the waterfall method, and that sort of makes sense. So there's some sort of need. There's some sort of software you want to create, and so you're going to analyze what is it we want to create, what are the specs of it, what's needed, and then you're going to get into designing what that software might look like and what kind of inputs and outputs it might have, and then you would code the software and then integrate it possibly with an existing system, and then the majority of time is spent maintaining. So looking at this chart, you can get, this is an estimate, but I still think this is pretty accurate. So if you think of Instagram or Snapchat or Twitter or Facebook, the actual launch of those software, it certainly took time to develop them, but since they've been launched, it's pretty much maintaining what's in place. Now there may be features that go through these stages again and get added, but for the most part, you're maintaining something that's already in place and making improvements to it. So that was just a quick kind of hardware, software understanding. Again, make sure you understand what would be classified as software, what would be classified as hardware, and definitely you want to know that maintenance is the largest, takes the most time in terms of being a developer. A lot of time, money, energy is spent on maintenance rather than designing and implementing a new feature.